Hi everybody, this is Charlie. We're going to be introducing Charlie to the Ecollar today, and I want to show you how that process goes and what you can look for when you are doing this at home. He's never had one on to my knowledge, so I'm not quite sure how he's going to respond, and whatever we get we'll just work through. I know there's a lot of controversy about this tool, but I can assure you from my point of view and the trainers that I work with, they are very safe, very humane, very effective, and not intended in any way to be pain or, they're not intended to cause the dog harm. Can they go to punitive levels? Yeah, the scale 0 to 100. But that's not how we use it, nor is it how we introduce it. And once the dog starts to have clarity of the commands that we're asking, the communication of the collar, it really is just like a tap on the shoulder. If we are correcting behavior, that can be a different discussion, but we only do that in a fair way. Now, positive trainers will say there's no such thing, that this is only an abusive, aversive punishment tool. And I think if we show you how we use it, you'll start to understand that it's really not. And I'm going to pause this and go get my CB radio so that I can let you hear when we're given the stem. Stand by. So we're back. I actually have a CB radio in my pocket that you will hear some static when I'm pressing the button, so that you know when the button is pressed and when I'm off. I'm going to put it on 0 and give a tap so you'll hear that. So there was nothing because, well, I'll take that back. You can't hear it on 0. So we're going to start trying to find Charlie's working level. And I don't want him really too attentively focused on me, but what I'm looking for is for him to give some indication that he feels it. So I'm going to start at level 1. Give a little tap. He heard that. I don't think he felt it. So this, so he's hearing it without really feeling it. Let me turn that off. I'm going to show you how we identify Charlie's working level, and that'll be the level at which we start trying to introduce him to the Ecollar. So I'm going to start with him on, we're going to level 0. There'll be nothing. We'll go one tick at a time and start to look for him to give us some indication that he feels it. Most dogs will look around towards their shoulder as if they felt something land on them. If we get to the point that we're seeing muscle stem, we're too high. If you're seeing the muscle twitch, you've gone too high, and he probably felt it much sooner. So we're going to back off and go back through the dial again and see what we can introduce him to. Most dogs don't know how to respond, so sometimes they don't do anything, and sometimes they're a little bit jumpy or startled by the sensation. But I assure you, this at these levels is not a painful thing. So we're going to start with level 1 and go from there. Nothing. 2, nothing. 3, nothing. Nothing. Woo! So that was a little high. So he felt that at level 4. So I'm going to go back to a 2. You see his ears perk? That tells me he felt it. And so that means he's super sensitive to this, and we may actually put a reducer on. Difficult. So I'm back with Charlie. We're going to look for his working level. We're starting at level, you see that? 0. He should feel absolutely nothing. Woo, nothing. You should see my 2, 2, nothing. I think he's gonna feel around 3. You see him look around like, what was that? That indicates to me that he did feel it. I'm gonna try 4. 4. Yep, so there's a sensitivity between 3 and 4 where 4 is a little too high for him. And that may mean that we need to put a reducer on the collar so that those levels are cut basically in half, and that gives me more play and more finesse in the range of levels. Even though this is 0 to 100, he's at a very, very low level. We are not trying to create punishment. We're trying to create communication. We're going to work the skills he already knows how to do, and we're going to proof them and advance him to off-leash training. It also gives us a way to interrupt and communicate with him in a non-emotional, non-threatening, non-escalated way from us if his energy is starting to change. So we know he's a little bit leash reactivity, has a little bit of leash reactivity. So we're going to work all the obedience skills, layer the techniques and the methodology together before we put him in the scene of having to see another dog while he's on leash, and make sure that he understands what it is we're asking for and how we're going to communicate with him. So this should not be in any way punitive to Charlie. So we're going to start with the recall. And the way this is going to play out is I have a long line. I'm going to let him get some distance from me. At this point, I'm not worried about a sit. I'm worried about when I press the button and give him a little guidance on the leash, that he steps towards me. And when he does, when he gives me any movement my direction, we will release the button. So he's learning that he will have the ability to cut that off, to make the sensation change or go away, and it'll be by coming towards me and complying with the command. So I have a CB radio here in my hand. I've turned it on. I'm going to sit it on the ground. He may respond to the CB radio too because it makes a lot of noise, but I want you to know when I'm pressing the button and when I'm off the button. So I'm going to let him look away from me, and I'm going to press the button. I'm going to say come. I'm going to give him a little guidance towards me, and I'm going to praise him when he gets here. Come. Good. Good. So we're still at a level 3. I'm going to a level 2. Can you see that? Level 2. What is that thing on the ground? It makes noise, doesn't it? Charlie's a little jumpy about new things, new sounds, new people. Anyway, so this CB radio might actually be a hindrance, but I wanted you all to hear it. Good. We're going to turn the volume down a little bit. What was that noise? Come. Come. Charlie, come. Good. That's it. That's it. Come. Good. Good. So this is about catching him the moment he gives me an indication he's headed my way and letting go. Come. Good. That's a good boy. Yes. I'm not worried about my auto sit right now. I just want him moving towards me. Come. Good. Sit. Good boy. Now, again, this is the first time we've ever introduced this thing to Charlie, the Ecollar, and he's no worse for wear in the first couple of minutes that we're doing this. Come. Good. What is that, CB? Come. Good. No. Come. Charlie. Good. So you saw him look and then change back. So I let off the button briefly and then back on it. Let him get distracted. Charlie, come. Come. Good. So he's still getting a little bit of tension from the leash. What will happen is, as we start conditioning him to this, he will get more pressure from the collar, from the E-collar, so I might dial up to that 3 or 4 range. rather than giving guidance with the leash. But that'll be tomorrow. So for today, I really want to give him a lot of support, a lot of guidance, a lot of clarity so that he understands the pieces of how this is put together, that the collar prompts him to come to me and that pressure turns off when he's in motion to do so. Come. Good. Good boy. Yeah. So we'll do more over the next few days with Charlie, but right now I've got about 100 repetitions of recall to work on so he gets aware of this collar and its use. See you soon.